Morning, everyone. It's nice to see so many faces. I'm just thrilled that we're still going to be honoring everyone today. My name is Jane Potts. I am an at-large member of the INC Board of Directors, and I'm chair of the Awards Committee. This ceremony is important because it recognizes the individuals who do specific things to improve their neighborhoods, little things that very often result in big, wonderful results. And although all of us had to change our habits and daily routines because of COVID-19 this year, there were once again individuals who did great things that benefited their neighborhoods in spite of the quarantine. So thank you to all of you for zooming in for this celebration. And I first want to thank Maggie Price, another INC board member, for her guidance and expertise in coordinating the technical aspects of today. Since we cannot bid on a silent auction item or purchase a celebratory drink today, I want to acknowledge our INC board and committee chairs. I want to personally thank Mary, Jane, and Rudy Giordano, Sally Kurtzman, Ann White, Hank Boots, Stella Yu, and Karen Taylor, who are all on the awards committees. Thank you to that great team. These awards would be impossible. Yes, that's what I said, truly impossible without our sponsors. I was so pleasantly surprised this year when all of our annual sponsors graciously made a sponsorship donation again this year. Please help me thank Carrie Ataya with Visit Denver, Tim Sandoz with Denver's Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, Stephanie Sneyer with Denver Health, Mickey and Kyle Zeppelin with Zeppelin Development, Shannon Fender with Native Roots, Tyler Smith with Excel Energy, Rachel Grubner with Denver International Airport, Katie Dudas with Denver Water, Jennifer Keeley with TR Scientific, and Councilwomen Kendra Black and Jamie Torres. Thanks again for all of our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. And now it is my great honor to introduce our guest master of ceremonies. Good morning, James. I see you're here with us today. James is the current president and CEO of Denver Film and runs the C Film Center on East Colfax Avenue. Before promoting film, James was manager for the Denver Department of Parks and Recreation, deputy director of the Mayor's Office of Economic Development and International Trade, executive director for the Agency on Human Rights and Community Relations, and president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. In addition, he worked as the founding president and CEO of Denver Preschool Program, was a member of the Denver Public School Board, as well as project manager for the $425 million bond project to build the Denver Justice Center. Mejia was also a Denver mayoral candidate in 2011. But most important for us today, James was born in Denver and lives in Park Hill, where he has lived most of his life. Welcome, James, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Jane. It's a pleasure to be here with so many friends of long standing that work on behalf of neighborhoods.
Well, we'll start with our ceremony and maybe we'll have a chance to chat at the end if we've got a little bit of extra time. We begin the ceremony with our youth awards. This award category was started in 2019 in an effort to recognize future community leaders. This year we are honoring 4 Denver youth groups with cash awards. I'm happy to announce that Councilwoman Jamie Torres donated $500 for an additional youth award. Thank you so much, Jamie. Next year, we will have a $1,000 donation from the Beanstalk Foundation that we can honor more to youth next year. Thank you, Margaret Cassette and the Beanstalk. James, will you please announce the award winners for the youth category?
Well, Jane, thank you so much. And it is my pleasure to start things off today with recognizing Spring Institute's Yosemite Youth Cohort in East Colfax. They are the winner of a $1,000 youth grant. 2020 brought a new level of activity for the Yosemite Youth Cohort with the consistent engagement of students involved in community programming. These activities consisted of the Asian Roundtable Census Initiative, where students were active in educating and assisting their community to complete census paperwork. Members were also available to hand out food and deliver groceries during the pandemic, creating partnerships with Hope Communities, Denver and Aurora Public Schools lunch programs, and Street Fraternity. Interpretation services were invaluable to at-risk families requesting assistance from the Family Friend Neighborhood Network. Students managed the Spring Institute Community Physical Activity Library, which made sports equipment available to the neighborhood. The variety of programs that these youth assisted with have continuously impacted their community. With their help, families have an increased sense of community, having been introduced to resources available to them, and as a result, have been more interested in joining future programming with their neighbors. Congratulations to Spring Institute's Yosemite Youth Cohort on East Colfax. Next, we recognize George Washington High School's Eye to Eye project. They are the winner of a $500 youth grant. The mission of Eye to Eye's national organization is to unlock greatness in the 1 to 5 who learn differently. George Washington's chapter of Eye to Eye has partnered with the Denver Green School. Eye to Eye joins high school age students with learning disabilities to middle school age students who are similarly identified. Mentors were trained by the national organization to provide social emotional interventions with high impact results. While working on art projects, students engage in conversations about their learning differences and how they are impacted academically and socially. Mentors took on leadership roles while mentees learned new skills to support social emotional growth and build stronger friendships with their peers. As each of the participants move through the phases of this program, they gain the confidence and skills necessary to be more productive, effective, self-aware, and joyful members of their school communities and neighborhoods. Congratulations to George Washington High School's Eye to Eye project.
And if you scroll through, you might be able to see them. So I'm hoping that if you scroll through and you look, you can see those, the actual winners. Okay, I would love to, and see the winners. So thank you very much.
Next, we recognize Youth Employment Academy's Art Street Environmental Project. They are the winner of a $500 youth grant. These youth represented and worked in Marlee, West Colfax, Montclair, Clayton, Virginia Vale, Park Hill, East Colfax, Central Park, Montbello, Athmar Park, Ruby Hill, and Westwood neighborhoods. The Art Street program rose to another level beyond job training for youth in 2020. Their year-long virtual programming resulted in environmental projects that created outlets for youth to research, confront and combat environmental disasters, and begin to bring relief on some of the anxiety created by everyday environmental issues. A new website, artstreetenvironmental.weebly.com, presented photography, individual upcycled product inventions with hands-on tutorials, traditional art pieces completed by students at home, and a Sun Valley neighborhood public art accomplished by a team working under COVID safety protocol. These projects empowered the youth to think about their trash and how water consumption can be used differently. These youth also presented their neighborhood environmental findings to the Denver City Council. Throughout these uplifting and character-building processes, youth participants and audiences shared experiences as concerned citizens during this very difficult year of politics, ethics, and health conditions. and our final awardee in this category is Consumption Literacy Spiral Garden in Montbello. They are the winner of a $500 youth grant. This group engages and supports students, communities, and educators to innovate ways of changing waste and consumption patterns. The Spiral Garden was the brainchild of Montbello residents who aimed to do just that. A vacant, weedy, sandy, and dry space in the community has been transformed into a composting organic waste garden bed. Planning began a year ago. Installation was the work of 3 principal artists, the helping hands of 6 to 8 young folks and their parents, making the Spiral Garden a community effort. As one student put it, the garden is constructed of basically any compost we can collect. Their crew is planning their first planting this year. Work continues by adding more compost to build outer spiral arms. 2021 includes the planting of perennial food-producing plants and placement of 2 fruit trees. Efforts are being made to expand participation in the whimsical Spiral Garden 2. Congratulations to all of the youth winners.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations to all of you. We're so proud of the work that you're doing, and we know that you're the future leaders of our community. Our next category is the Neighborhood Stars. Each year, individuals are nominated by their neighborhood organization for an outstanding contribution they have made in their neighborhood. They are the people who walk the walk. James, will you tell us about the 2020 Neighborhood Stars?
My pleasure, Jane. Our Neighborhood Stars, we start with Kathleen Cass-Cronin with Earthlinks Colorado and Cole Chandler with Colorado Village Collaborative. They have been nominated by Capitol Hill United Neighbors, Inc. The Colorado Village Collaborative and Earthlinks Colorado both work to support the unhoused. In 2020, a coalition of Denver community groups outlined steps to support the unhoused. At this time, 2 temporary safe outdoor sites, or SOS, were proposed. The pilot sites would be at First Baptist Church, operated by Earthlinks Denver, and Denver Community Church, operated by Colorado Village Collaborative. Both organizations have worked extensively with the host properties and the surrounding neighborhoods up to and including developing a good neighbor agreement to guide their operations. Since their launch last year, both programs have boasted a significant amount of progress and positive measurable outcomes. One of the residents said, "I feel like I'm presented with an opportunity to advance myself." Earthlinks Denver and Colorado Village Collaborative, you are both neighborhood stars. Next, we recognize Ryan Cox from Curtis Park Neighbors. He was nominated by Curtis Park Neighbors and Curtis Park Neighbors Homelessness Solutions Committee. Ryan Cox, a volunteer leader of the Curtis Park Neighbors Homelessness Solutions Committee, has accomplished meaningful change in addressing Denver's crisis of homelessness. Ryan rapidly learned about the complex issues of homelessness and has won the respect of the mayor's office, the city council, and the homeless community. Ryan advocated for the Safe Outdoor Space Initiative. He helps lead a team of volunteers to conduct outreach to those experiencing homelessness in that neighborhood and works to connect them with services and alternatives to the street. Ryan can be found picking up trash, helping install landscaping, repairing damaged public spaces after encampments move, and planning events to activate park and public spaces for housed and unhoused neighbors. Here he is setting up for a concert at Sonny Lawson Park. Wanting to gain an understanding of why people are on the street, Ryan is on a first-name basis with many of those who are currently or formerly homeless. Ryan is truly a steward of Curtis Park and offers counsel and comfort to all he meets. He is a neighborhood star. And next, we recognize John DeLisa from Inspiration Point, who was nominated by Robert Lorenz. John has served as Inspiration Point Neighborhood Association's treasurer during 2 neighborhood administrations for 17 years. His knowledge and experience acquired as an expert fiscal civil servant in income tax, has benefited our registered neighborhood organization with an honest and trusted volunteer. He keeps excellent financial and membership records and does the expenditure and banking accurately. He regularly attends all membership and board meetings to report in detail how we are doing financially and where we stand in terms of voting members. Last year, on Arbor Day, along with Mayor Hancock, John and others planted experimental cypress trees in Inspiration Park. John's long volunteer service and dedication to the Inspiration Point Neighborhood Association has made a difference in our neighborhood. Congratulations to John. And next, we recognize Ann Wynn from La Alma Lincoln Park neighborhood. She is our La Alma Lincoln Park neighborhood star, who was nominated by Roger Callender. Ann has been a valuable asset to the La Alma Lincoln Park community for many years. She is committed to providing safe streets and building awareness of how the design of landscape and structures communicate important stories and connect people to a place. Ann leads the Equity and Inclusion Program at Bicycle Colorado. She is the neighborhood chair of 5280 Trail, which works with the Downtown Denver Partnership to implement community-driven programming, events, and improvements along the trail in La Alma Lincoln Park. She is the La Alma Lincoln Park Planning and Development Committee chair, leading the effort to create design overlay for areas zoned as Main Street to preserve and enhance the art district on Santa Fe. Ann could be found cooking meals for Denver Health this past summer. She is a stakeholder in the Santa Fe Streetscape Project and in the Neighborhood Transportation Management Program. She has also worked on tree canopy implementation along Santa Fe Drive and is truly a neighborhood star. Congratulations, Ann. Next, we recognize Paul Varanes from Lowry United Neighborhoods, who was nominated by Sally Kurtzman. Paul is making Lowry a better neighborhood by bringing neighbors together. Inspired by his lack of awareness to the economic, racial, and ethnic diversity that exists, his advocacy work focused on identifying systems that are enabling oppression amongst our most vulnerable neighbors, removing roadblocks Lowry residents face looking to escape generational poverty, and improving educational outcomes for children who need it the most. So, he identified what neighborhoods face and implemented grassroots solutions. Last year, he increased membership and diversity of the Lowry RNO. He started the Lowry Coronavirus Help Group of 75 volunteers to respond to the unique challenges of COVID-19. He created the SNAP Benefits in a Pandemic Facebook group after hearing a Lowry neighbor was having difficulty using food stamps. He advocated against the use of tax increment financing to allow $33 million of DPS funding to renovate the 16th Street Mall. And he joined Lowry Elementary Collaborative School Committee to inspire greater collaboration between the school and the wealth of neighborhood resources. Congratulations, Paul, from Lowry United Neighbors. Next, we recognize Melissa Sotelo from Montbello 2020, nominated by Ann White. Melissa was born in Denver, graduated Montbello High School, and received her BA in sociology from CSU with a concentration in criminal justice. Throughout her college career, she committed to understanding diversity, cultural immersion, political and economic differences. She worked for Environmental Learning for Kids, a nonprofit that works with culturally diverse, low-income youth in teaching science education, outdoor recreation, and career exploration. And she is an Elk alum. Melissa has been a neighborhood shining star. When COVID-19 began, she ensured that older adults had household essentials and called community members daily to make sure they were connected to city services. She went above and beyond to get residents connected virtually so they could continue to participate and engage in meetings. She was a key advocate and organizer in getting COVID-19 testing locations in Montbello and Green Valley Ranch. These testing centers were critical to helping majority Latino and African Americans in District 11 neighborhoods. Congratulations to Melissa Sotelo. And last, but certainly not least, we recognize Judy Hopper, Christine Gust, and Lisa Olson from Uptown on the Hill. They were nominated by Judy Trumpeter. In 2019, as president of the Turnverein, Judy spearheaded Green Verein, a project to replace the barren, asphalt-covered, treeless right-of-way with a xeric garden. Christine and volunteers began planting trees and perennials, but work was extremely difficult due to the compacted soil. They got Front Range Wild Ones involved, whose president, Lisa, designed a garden that addressed soil compaction, water runoff, and intense heat. In 2020, Front Range Wild Ones and Judy worked untold hours to solicit financial support, build berms, dig trenches, add boulders, and plant. They obtained unwanted materials such as broken concrete, tree stumps, pea gravel, and native plants. Using Lisa's design, the result is a beautiful garden on the site, one that already lures bees, butterflies, and even a rabbit or two, saves water, and draws appreciative comments from passersby. It is a better place to live by dramatically showing the benefits of using native plants in city gardens. Congratulations, Judy, Christine, and Lisa, and all our 2020 neighborhood stars. Jane?
Thank you, James, and congratulations to all of our wonderful neighborhood stars and their nominators. It wouldn't be possible without all of us working together to make this happen. And now we're going to present the honorary awards.
Well, first, we present the Delegate of the Year Award to winner Adrian Brown from the Baker Historic District. Adrian has been a Baker INC delegate since 2014. In these years, he has worked on many projects, including, but not limited to, undergrounding utility wires, homelessness, the I-70 trench project, and stormwater. As a professional engineer and a small business owner, Adrian brings a wealth of knowledge and a lifetime of experience to everything he does. He even came up with the concept of the Denver Dam to decrease river polluting runoff and improve groundwater stores. During this past year, Adrian focused on ensuring that INC take an anti-racist approach to everything it does, pushing the organization to think beyond its non-discrimination policy, noting how some neighborhood preserving positions can actually be discriminatory and not at all anti-racist. It's always interesting and exciting to learn what the next non-conventional solution to a problem Adrian will have. Congratulations, Adrian Brown, Delegate of the Year Award winner. Our next award is for Climate and Sustainability. That award goes to Gertie Grant from West Washington Park. The program Denver Digs Trees got its start in 1983 when Gertie saved 50 unwanted trees by distributing them in her neighborhood. The popularity of the idea quickly grew and spread to other neighborhoods. By 1986, the park people voted to sponsor the program, paying half the cost of trees if planted in the public right-of-way. Called the Park People's Neighborhood Tree Distribution Program, distribution sites were neighborhood garages. The 1989 bond money made it possible in 1990 to distribute a record number 1,000 trees in 10 neighborhoods. Gertie gladly became the Denver Digs Trees staff member, helping write the proposal for the first program in April 1991, resulting in the distribution of 3,000 free street trees. This year, using COVID protocols, 500 trees will be distributed to Denver neighborhoods. Gertie has been a very active member of her West Washington Park neighborhood, serving as president and zoning committee chair. She is an annual patron member of INC. Many thanks to Gertie for her dedication to her neighborhood, INC, and the growing of Denver neighborhood canopies. Congratulations, Gertie. And now, the winner of our Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Larry Ambrose, Sloan's Lake Neighborhood Association and former INC president. Larry, a Colorado native, has been involved in the formation and advocacy of Denver neighborhood groups since 1973, when he and his wife Jane started one of Denver's first RNOs, Northwest Neighbors. In the early 1980s, he co-founded Sunnyside Highland Jefferson Park Neighborhood Association. He and Jane helped pioneer the Lohi Business District on 15th Street, where they both had businesses, and in 2004, they were founding members of Sloan's Lake Neighborhood Association, where he serves today as vice president. Larry holds an MBA from UCLA and a JD from DU. As Community Relations Director of the Auraria campus, he wrote the policies on community use of space, and more notably, he saved the Golda Meir house from the wrecking ball, moved it to the 9th Street Historic Park where it was restored and is named to the National Register of Historic Places. Larry was a member of the Platte Area Reclamation Committee, where he advocated for a major city park in Central Platte Valley and was subsequently appointed by Mayor McNichols as the neighborhood representative. Larry and Gertie Grant co-chaired a citywide building height control initiative that was on the ballot in 1985. He was a leader in saving historic buildings in the Highlands and getting power lines buried in Highland Square Business District. He was also instrumental in creating the Viking Park entryway into Northwest Denver and establishing Denver's system of dog parks. He served on numerous city planning committees and task force groups. Larry was the INC representative to the Visit Denver Olympics Civic Engagement Subcommittee and was instrumental, along with Christine O'Connor, in getting the successful Olympic ballot initiative a few years ago. Larry was a co-founder of INC Parks Committee and served on the INC board for 9 years, serving as secretary, vice president, and president. He initiated the creation of INC's website, logo, and branding. He established a record of activism and advocacy through INC resolutions to Denver city government officials and initiated, at the behest of Kathleen Wells, the creation of platforms for INC's committees, starting with parks. He formed the INC Parks Designation Committee and appointed its first members. To raise funds for INC projects, he initiated the silent auction at INC annual awards dinners, and with help from Jane Lorimer, took the dinners to a new level of success. Larry held executive committee retreats, which for the first time, including building INC's current mission statement to advocate for Denver citizens by bringing together, informing, and empowering Denver neighborhood organizations to actively engage in addressing city issues. Larry currently serves as executive director for Southwest Improvement Council, whose purpose is to improve living conditions for its residents through civic engagement, health and human service programs, and affordable housing. Larry Ambrose has indeed spent a lifetime of commitment to address the betterment of Denver neighborhoods. Congratulations, Larry. And this year, the Person of the Year award goes to Brother Jeff Fard. It seems like everyone in Denver knows our Person of the Year, probably because Brother Jeff Fard has touched the names of so many people in Metro Denver. He has received numerous honors and awards for his humanitarian approach to life. He founded Brother Jeff's Cultural Center in 5 Points in 1994, a safe, space, place that honors the community with cultural celebrations and becomes a food bank overnight when the need arises. This past Christmas, his volunteers helped to feed 500 individuals and delivered meals to many. He is a native of Denver and hosts regular Facebook interviews and YouTube video discussions with individuals involved with issues of the day, from Park Hill Golf Course and Denver Public Schools to homeless sweeps and the school to prison pipeline debate. He faces the hard to talk about issues and has since the day he confronted the AIDS crisis in his neighborhood. Ian Tafoya, INC's zoning co-chair, pictured here with Jeff, said he uses his platform to elevate critical issues in our community. He lifted up small businesses during the pandemic. He is also a fierce advocate against police brutality and ensuring rights for the unhoused. He does it all with a great smile, and he lives by the motto, if not us, who? If not now, when? Congratulations, Brother Jeff Fard. And finally, I'd like to announce the President's Award this year, which we'd like to give to Maggie Price. Words cannot express how grateful all members of INC and the Congress Park neighborhood are for Maggie. Her dedication to INC and her neighborhood is a full-time job. She has single-handedly created, developed, and managed and grown the INC communications and visibility for years, giving all of us the benefit of her career as a professional software engineer. The DenverInc.org website is a wealth of archival history. It is a resource of minutes, resolutions, and the issues INC has brought forward to Denver citizens for over 10 years, elevating INC profile with the city of Denver. She simply investigates facts and makes them available. This year, faced with COVID restrictions, Maggie immediately managed to facilitate all INC delegate and committee meetings on Zoom, recording and immediately posting the meeting on the website and YouTube, so the continuity of the organization was not lost. She has chaired the INC Parks and Recreation Committee, bringing attention to the use of public parks, preservation of open space and natural areas, waterways, water uses, and the care of trees. One issue Maggie was adamant about for the parks was the issue of poop-free parks. In 2009, Maggie brought it to everyone's attention that advertising on poop bag dispensers was not the right solution. So it did not happen. Everyone in INC relies on Maggie to be there with the answer, and she never fails. Thank you, Maggie. And congratulations to all of the 2020 INC award winners. Jane?
Thank you, James. That was a beautiful presentation. We can't thank you enough. I'm so proud to be a part of this organization and so happy that we can acknowledge these people. As I mentioned earlier, be sure to hit the donate button on the website and call, email, or text your friends who are award winners today.